Hello friends, my name's Real Emile and welcome back to Forza Horizon 1. Today we're watching a bunch of people have a wee bit of a rave. I was just restarting the recording and I noticed the guy in the red was having a bit of a jump and a shout, and now all his friends have seemed to join in. Now he's clapping something. What's he actually clapping? Can't we find out what he's clapping? That's the question. No. It's staring into your soul. Jesus Christ, they all are. They're all 2D. And then you've got sort of these 3D models. He's apparently... I don't want to say a severe burn victim, but you sort of get the point. She has no facial features. Yeah, I'm gonna stop mocking the graphics. As long as you don't look at them for too long, I guess they're okay. If you sort of, I don't know, go past them at this speed, it doesn't really matter what they all look like, does it? I mean, they all look like people vaguely. But anyway, we're not here to admire the people. We're here to get on and do some more racing today. As we go for the purple wristband, which I believe is what we're going for at the moment. B class, A class, S class, A class. So we need 3 different A class cars, an S class, and a B class. Okay, we can do that. There's a Stratos, which has insisted on ramming us. And yeah, last episode we drove this crazy Shelby, which I quite like the Shelby Daytona. I should have spoke about that as well last episode. The past few Horizon Let's Plays, they've been a bit... the commentaries haven't been so good. I just haven't really had much to speak about, so yeah. And I do apologise for that, of course. It doesn't make for the best viewing in the world, but I can't really do much about it, because if I was to cut the bits where I wasn't really saying anything, then, well, A, I'd have to find out how to cut stuff, and B, it wouldn't go particularly well. We're going to buy this Subaru for the B-Class event. I think this could be a good purchase. It's cheap as well, which kind of helps us at the moment, because we're kind of... all the money we make in the last episode sort of gets spent on this one and a bit more, so we're kind of losing money fairly fast on this. B, A, there we go. So a few A-class cars now. What do we want? What haven't we driven yet? I do like the Eagle Speedster, but it's too expensive. Something that's not expensive. That. There's one of our A-class cars right there. I love this thing in Forza 5. It's a fantastic car to drive from stock. It really is. It's unfortunately around our track it had to be one of the first cars to go around, which kind of means it's starting to look a bit what's the word? It's starting to go down the pecking order quite a bit. We'll have a cigarish just to keep things nutty. What colour do we want our cigars in? Does it have any more strange, stupid TVR colours? Yes, it does. Bright purple. I'll take that. We need one more A-class car and an S-class, don't we? No, not yet. Not finished. One more A-class car. I am tempted by the 8C convertible. It's a lot of money though, and I don't think it's worth spending that on an A-class car. So we're going to go with the Evora, actually. Let's have a couple of British supercars and let's have it in that super bright green, because it's a fantastic colour. Don't judge me. And finally an S-class car. Let's go look through these. What do we got? And we're sold. Challenge Stradale. Is there any interesting colours for this one? Of course there's not. Black will do. Do we want a black Ferrari for a change? Yeah, let's have a black Ferrari for a change. Why not? Why the bloody hell not? Right. Do you want to return to free roam? Yes, I finally do, game. Return me to the free roam. I'm so glad the Camaro SS isn't in this game. I hate Camaros. I like the ZL1. I like the 90s IROC Z. That's literally the only two Camaros I actually like. The rest of them are just terrible, hateful cars. Right. To the garage. Right. I don't want to upgrade the 458. Oh, sorry. 432 much. Sorry. Fucking hell. 360 is really hard to remember which Ferraris were which now. Yeah, you can't upgrade this car too much because it becomes particularly horrible after upgrading it quite a bit. So I'm going to be quite careful on the upgrade choice. In fact, to the point where I don't know. I kind of want to say it's done there. I'll supercharge it and upgrade the supercharge, but I don't really. Oh, sorry, upgrade the exhaust. I don't know. This car's very strange. It's a very, very nice handling car until you start throwing upgrades into it, and then it sort of becomes a bit terrible. I'm going to ignore my own advice. I'm going to go for a full S-Class build and pray to God this car works. Which, to be honest with you, with my luck as of recent, it probably won't. Right, B-Class, B-Class. Impreza. That was the next car we bought. Custom upgrade. Okay, what do we got? Oh yeah, right. I forgot this car's silly rally upgrades. I'll sort of keep the silly rally upgrades to a minimum because this isn't going to be a rally car. Or maybe it is going to be a rally car. It looks weird without that, but at the same time, I don't. No, whatever. We'll go with that. Right. No, we shan't upgrade the tires just yet because we need to lower it and throw some weight out and see where that leaves us. Leaves us with no PI at all. Okay, let's upgrade the tires. And then let's throw the weight reduction out. Let's gearbox. Yep. More power. No, actually, there's no tire compound. There we go. Now there's a tire compound. Power, please. No. Okay, whatevs. You're going to be an arse, aren't you? Wow, you really are an arse to work with. Here's an idea. Haha! You didn't want to go in B500, did you? But you did, you little wanky. You fucking did. I'm currently shouting at, well, what is basically just a couple hundred polygons. Chair made a horrible knocking noise there. I am convinced this thing is just going to fall down and try and kill me one day. I put this together. Me. Oh, sorry. Me and my mother put this chair together and... Oh, God. It's... Yeah. Some of the screws have sort of shot out at some amounts of speed before. Not gonna lie. But... it's not bad. It's very comfortable. The only problem I have is, I've spoke about this quite a few times before in my videos. For some reason I end up curling my leg underneath. I end up curling my left leg underneath my right leg. And then when I have to move it, it creates like a weird leathery sound. Which is not particularly nice to hear. Over on the volume, over on the microphone, and it sounds a bit weird. Okay, right, finally let us upgrade the Sagaris a bit. I don't know if we'll be able to get through all the events I said we'd get through. I'm going to keep going until we get the gold wristband, okay? That's just the way this works. Excuse me. Right. Okay, you're going to go to S-Class because you're an arse. I've done something I've never done before, sorry. I'm going to... change those race brakes to sport brakes and pray to God it doesn't fall apart. It's a TVR, it's light. The brakes should be good. From stock. It's just a thing that I do now. I just upgrade brakes and suspension automatically. So, that's kind of why I do it. Yeah, this is a very nice purple colour. Righto. Which car is going to be used for what? That's got dirt on it. What's gonna take? Right, we'll do the dirt running in TVR because that sounds suitably stupid. I hope this doesn't just turn around to me and say, "Oh wait, this is a 4-wheel drive event." Oh yes, it will. Haha. Fine, we'll use that. I can't remember what this car... Oh, yeah, I remember this car. It's the 1000 Club Evo, isn't it? Oh, well. The TVR will get used at some point, provided I remember I haven't used the TVR yet. Haley is often seen down at the track before the race. There is no tracks. I wish there was a racetrack. There should... I don't know... Horizon 2 and 1, I know it sounds weird because the game's supposed to be, oh, well, there's no racetracks, there's no bounds. I do kind of wish there was, you know, just a racetrack in the middle, kind of like there is on stuff like The Crew. There's some racetracks in there. I believe Test Drive Unlimited has a racetrack as well. If in Horizon 3 they just have like a little racetrack in the middle of nowhere. And, yeah, it'd be quite nice to have a racetrack in the open world games. As far as which one I prefer, what do I prefer? Open world racing or track racer? It's a tough one. I like the Horizon games, I really do. I love this game, I love Horizon 2. But Horizon 2 has kind of demonstrated for me, I personally have got more mileage out of Forza 5. I also... If you stuck me on a desert island and said, right, you're going to have to play one of these games forever, I would pick Horizon 2 Forza 5 to no end. Horizon 2 is a spectacularly good game, but once you get to level 200, you sort of lose interest, and that's kind of what I've done with Horizon 2. You know, I go back and I check out the DLC, and occasionally I'll make a video about a bunch of cars. The Horizon 2 videos, realistically for my channel, I should just make them. Because these Let's Plays don't get nearly as many views as the Horizon 2 stuff does. But, you know, the thing for me is this channel needs a backbone, and with the Let's Play through these older Forza games, I'm trying to give this channel a background. A backbone. So people could, I don't know, if I ever do become one of these popular-ish channels, i.e. over, I'd say 200 subs, you know, people can go back and say, oh look, he did a Let's Play of this game, oh look, he did a Let's Play of this game, and I'm kind of hoping this content picks an audience up after it's finished, if that makes any sense at all. It sounds really strange. Horizon 2 content is very timely. You know, my opinions on the DLCs, that will eventually fade into obscurity, because no one's... You know, 2 years down the line, if Jimmy John wants to buy the car pass, he's just going to buy the car pass. He's not going to look at my videos to decide whether he's going to do it, you know. I personally, you see, for me, if it's a driving game, I will buy DLC for an oldish game. You know, if it's got some interesting cars in it. So, I mean, the videos could be useful, but not a lot of people like me, you know. They'll watch my video on the launch of the car pack, say, oh great, that's what's in the car pack, and then go off. And that's... I've developed the DLC videos to become more than just, you know, me driving one of the cars and reading from a list what cars are in the pack. I literally show you at the start and just say, hello friends, my name's Real Emile, welcome back to Horizon 2. May DLC pack, here's all the cars in it. I've put that there, right, and people will see that and go, great. And most of them will probably go off without watching the rest of the video, and I'm cool with that. I really am cool with that. Let's Play content is... There's a lesser market for this if it's from an unknown. Purely because for the DLC content, for example, you can say, yep, done, cool. You know, if it's my opinion on, I don't know, the A45 AMG, for example, in Horizon 2, you know, I'll say, this is a good car. It's got some handling problems, but it's very fast and quick and blah 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 blah. Okay, great, heard that, let's go. Let's play content requires you to realistically sit through the entire affair. So, it's, because I actually see this through some of the Let's Plays. The first episode, you know, for example, you know, one episode will get no views and the next episode will get like 6, and you're like, well, surely you want to watch what happens. That's kind of why I'm trying to split them off into two things. For example, when you see episode of many things, just assume I round up a bunch of loose ends, you know. So, you know, you can skip that one. Street racing ones, technically speaking, yeah, sure, skip them ones. You know, and likewise, if you're only interested in the street racing stuff, you can skip over my playthroughs of this bit, I guess. It's a strange thing. Let's play content. It's a weird thing on YouTube, but, you know, eventually, once you find an audience and all that, I'm kind of hoping my channel's just going to be a multi-thing, so I can have these Let's Plays and people can come watch these, but, you know, I can also do timely content and a bunch of other stuff. And yeah, hopefully, you know, uniqueness is kind of hard to do when you're talking about racing games. You know, every possible angle has been explored here on YouTube now. Or for the most part. And everyone has their own special niche. Gameplay, if you say this Let's Play, it isn't unique. A load of people can do this. This is basically an open source thing, but if you look at Zero Punctuation, for example, his style of doing stuff, his style of doing game reviews, and, you know, his yellow background and all his little coloured drawn sprites and all that, which look absolutely fantastic, you know. This is another 4-wheel drive event as well. I should have bought a bunch of 2-wheel drive cars. I bet this is 4-wheel drive anyway, I bet you. Oh no. Apparently not. Do we really want to use the TVR off-road? Yes, we do. But as far as Let's Plays go, unless you're going to play a really out there game, it's sort of already been done. If you used to copy Zero Punctuation, you'd instantly, people would go, you're copying Zero Punctuation there, pal. I recommend you stop before all the copyright law gets on your arse. It's almost a weird thing. And, you know, I have had a few unique ideas, but the problem is they take a lot of time to establish. For me personally, at the moment, I don't know my way around editing software to save toffee. You see the Top Gear lap videos, right? They get made in Windows Movie Maker. You see all these videos from me, they haven't even been through an editing program. It's all done through the Elgato software. I can't even, I can't Photoshop. I can't Photoshop to save my life. However, the plan is, once I end up acquiring this software, and I want stuff to get a bunch of reasonable amount of views before I start putting, you know, I do put blood, sweat and tears into these videos. Let's Play videos, obviously not so much because they're a lot easier to produce, but the Top Gear lap videos and some of the scripted content, well, the golf video wasn't, the golf versus Scirocco video, I've tried to make some of them now. I've actually got some ideas of what to do with that series, and it just doesn't work. I try and do it, and it just, there's nothing there. I understand I'm doing terribly in this race, by the way. What was I on about? I don't know. Yeah, so these Let's Play videos are very simple to put together. The Horizon 2 Championship playthroughs, honestly, are even simpler. But like the Top Gear lap videos, if I fluff up, right, pretty much all the Top Gear lap videos you've ever seen, they're either done completely in one take and I get everything correct, or they're done in multiple takes. I can't get something done second take round. It has to be, you know, the 4th or 5th attempt at doing stuff. When I fluff something on my first one, I sort of I ignore the error a bit more. When I get annoyed though, you know, and I start making more and more mistakes, I get really, really angry with myself, you know. And yeah, that's sort of the way these things work. Like I said, the best way to do it would be to write a script. However, A, I'm lazy, and B, the script writing just isn't really my thing. I can read very well. Let's just say that. I am dyslexic. That is something you might not know. However, I can read perfectly. You know, my reading is absolutely, completely and utterly fine. I can read aloud and whatnot. But, you know, if I'm reading from a book, occasionally I will fluff a word up. And, yeah. Actually, that brings me on to a story. Someone was... I actually saw a picture on Facebook the other day, and it was so true. There was, it was like when that kid in school can't read, you know, like, gets 90% of the words wrong in a book, and you're like, ah. As I've said, I'm dyslexic and whatnot. They only actually discovered that on my, I think it was my second to last year in school, year 10, which would be, I don't really know what that would be in America. We leave school when we're 16 over here in the UK, or at least used to. And I'm just trying to think. So yeah, so I would have been 15 at the time when they finally gave me it. And before that, my English was absolutely atrocious as far as the marks I'd get for English. My maths was very good. I was an extremely talented mathematician. I don't know how to pronounce that. Math person. There you go. I was extremely good at maths. Actually, in primary school, I was like, they had this thing where they had like 4 tables for the most sort of able maths people. That was really stupid. Basically, they had like 4 tables. There was yellow table, red. You what, mate? Oh, fuck off. That was banging that wall on that last bit. But they had like red table, yellow table, green table, blue table. And yellow table was the best, and I believe blue table was the worst, something like that. And they had like a list of names. And my name was literally, you know, a couple of centimeters above everyone else's name. I was extremely clever at maths. I just sort of lost interest for it after a while. I sort of got down to a more standard level. I'm still very good at it, you know. The people who say they struggle at maths, I sort of struggle at comprehending that. I'm just like, well, it's easy. Yeah. My favourite is like people who get confused with fractions and stuff. To me, it's second nature. I know exactly how to do it. However, there's these people who can, I don't know, creatively write and have really neat handwriting. You see me with my scruffy handwriting and other stuff, and it's like, well, how the hell did you do that? So, it's kind of a double-edged sword. But, yeah, I was in really, when I started secondary school, I was in set 3. We had a 3 set tier system. I was in set 3 for English. And, oh god, the people, when they try to read books in there, I was just like, oh my god. Because there's just these people who just can't read for toffee. And, oh god. English used to be really cool in year 7 though. We had like a thing where we'd watch a movie on a Friday, and it's all really, really cool. In case you're wondering, by the end of school, they kind of expanded it to a 4 or 5 set system for some subjects. I don't really know what they did. I was in second set for everything, which is basically average / just above average. I finished maths and English with a C. They actually, the school had some stupid thing where they did a 3 levels of progress thing. That's what they called it. And 3 levels of progress thing. And the idea was I got a level 5 in my maths test at the end of year 6 we do SAT tests, and they sort of decide what level you start at secondary, and I believe I got 3 in English, 4 for science, and 5 for maths. And that put me in... oh god, what? That basically meant I needed to get... I presume it's on level 8, I'm not quite sure how it works. Basically, they wanted me to get a B in maths. But at that point, I was just like, well, I passed maths in November, and my school career sort of ended in June. And they kept me in this maths class. I was just like, well, what's the point of that? I don't want to go for anything higher than a B. It's just like, oh, well, the government says you have to. And I was just like, okay, so I have to make your school look good. Well, yes. And me, of course, I was just like, well, no, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. You know, can I go and do something else? He's like, oh, no, you have to stay in this maths class. And literally, I was speaking to a guy. And he was just like, oh, well, I wish I had the same opportunity as you. I need a B to get into this special college. And I was like, why don't you give my place to him and let me go do something else? And she's like, no, can't do that. You have to stay in here. It's literally to the point where it's just like, okay, so you'd rather me stay in this classroom, not doing anything at all, than going and, you know, revising for all the subjects. Yeah. And I was just like, okay then. And I spent the next 3 months pretty much asleep during that entire maths lesson. It was great. It was great fun. Yeah. I miss my school days. I really do. I'm currently at college, just about to finish off. But I miss my school days. I would go back and, you know, go through it all again. It's all fun. I do a lot of things differently, obviously. But there's definitely some stuff that's regrettable. But, you know. You learn from these things. You learn from these things.
You know, the more I watch you race, the more I'm convinced you've got what it takes.
I'm currently dwelling on about the English school system in a Let's Play for Forza. I don't quite know how YouTube career went on to English school system. But, okay. You know, this is really why I think I should get a podcast together. I would love to get a podcast together. The only problem I've got is who I'd invite and what we'd throw up on the screen at the time. You see, I haven't got a webcam. And you can bug yourself if you think you're having me on webcam. You know, I've thought about funny ways to do it. I've actually been tempted to buy a Slipknot mask and just wear that during it for shizzles and giggles, but a lot of people would probably get quite angry at that. So yeah, I'd love to host a podcast. I've got an idea of who I could host it with. It's just organising schedules and how to record it. And of course there's uploading the damn thing, because, you know, it'll be a 2-hour schedule. And the other problem we've got is my idea is I've got this friend, and, you know, we won't speak for a couple of weeks or months. We'll occasionally, you know, speak to each other on Twitter or something. That's a nice F50. We'll occasionally speak to each other on Twitter and be like, oh, hey, you know, and talk a bit. And then we'll get together in a Skype conversation and have like a 5-hour chat. I'd love to record that. The only problem is we'd probably end up like name dropping on a bunch of people, which is not something you particularly want to do. The dog has woken from its slumber, as you can probably hear. And it's just slammed its head straight into my desk. You really are a smart dog, aren't you? So yeah, I'd love to host a podcast though. I don't know what we'd call it. I've always thought of something really stupid and simple like The Podcast. I think a name like that could work, but at the same time it's probably already taken. And yeah, so I've always thought about doing something like that. I reckon it could be interesting. That's definitely what I'd call it, interesting. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what we'd have on this podcast, like I said. It's a weird thing. And I don't really know who would sit through, you know, 6 hours of me, or sorry, not 6 hours. It'd be limited to about 2. You know, I don't quite know anyone. Stop. Thank you. That Ferrari has just cocked himself. Yeah, I don't know anyone who would sit and listen to me rant for 2 hours about good old days and all that good stuff. But yeah. I don't know. Oh, that's another point as well. PC emulation. I'm tempted. I'm gonna try and get some emulators running. The way I've always seen it is they've been a little bit seedy. I'm hopefully gonna try and get some emulators running because I'd love to play Gran Turismo 2 again. I actually had a PS3 that could play old PS1 games. I've ended up giving it to my father actually. He's getting into his gaming at the moment, and I figured, you know what? It was sat underneath my desk for a good couple of months. You know, the amount of dust. I keep cutting that corner really poorly. I apologise. The amount of dust and stuff that's like gathered on it was insane. I was using it as a footstool mostly, so I figured I'd give it away. And yeah, but I love Gran Turismo 2. That is my all-time favourite game ever. It's either that or Gran Turismo 4. Those two are extremely good games, you know. And I was even playing Gran Turismo 2 a couple of months ago, and it still holds up today. It really does. The thing I love about it most, though, is, you know, for me, in a racing game, you know, the handling has to be really top-notch. But as well as that, the car list. And Gran Turismo 2, to this day, still has my favourite car list in any game ever. I just love the variety of it all. It's all 90s cars. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge fan of 90s cars. Mainly because I grew up during that time. For some reason, every car that came out in the 90s was brilliant. The Ford Escort was brilliant. The Ford Focus was brilliant. Hell, I even don't mind the 4th and 3rd generation Vauxhall Astras. You know what my opinion is on Vauxhalls. You know, there's just so many good cars that came out in the 90s. And that game just has such diverse list of cars. It's like Citroen Saxo. I've never seen that in a racing game before. You know, they have the Ford Focus gear and the Ford Focus 1.8 Z-Tech. I love all the little details, you know. People complain Gran Turismo has, 35 generations of the same, 35 versions of the same skyline. And I think that's missing from Forza. Honestly, my ideal racing game, it would have a car list similar to Gran Turismo 2. And what you'd actually do is when you go to buy the car, so for example, say, I'm just trying to think of a car at random, a BMW 3 Series, okay. In the game you can buy, I don't know, just the generic 3 Series. So just imagine yourself BMW 3 Series. And you could, you know, choose between all the models that they've got. So you could go from, I believe, 316 is the lowest. So you could have the 316i or the 318i or the 320i or 325, all the way up to 335 and even possibly the M3 in there. And each, you know, performance upgrade would come at the cost of slightly more credits. I reckon a system like that could be really enjoyable. Gran Turismo 2 actually has a lot of that. Like they've got BMW 320. They've got the 3 Series. They've got like a 320i and a 325i and stuff like that. I love that, you know. And I definitely think more games should feature some of the. I forgot about the Peugeots as well. The 106, which is a fantastic car. They've got the 306. I love the Peugeot 306. Peugeot 306 actually is, I was in one, the fastest I've ever been in a car, not me driving, I must stress, is 140, and that's when we had a 1.8 litre Peugeot 306, that car was so quick, it was so nice as well, it had leather interior, and I love the Peugeot 306, I really do, they were quick, they were really nice looking cars as well. The only problem with them is they're a bit unreliable, so, yeah. And of course, if the recession didn't happen, we could honestly probably have a really nice car. My stepdad's actually gone on quite a bit. He currently has a 308 diesel. He's actually on about grading to. He was on about having his own little midlife crisis, and he might buy a GT86. If he bought the GT86, there would be many videos about this GT86. Yeah, I almost want to be the first person in our household to own something like really interesting and sporty, but insurance companies don't like interesting cars. when are you actually going to get this video? Episode 14, 15, 16. So if you get this on Monday, hopefully, by the time you get this, my car will be out the MOT shop, and I will be able to drive my little Polo, and all will be good. Currently, they've found the rear disc brake. I believe it's on the passenger side. The rear disc brake, there was something wrong with it. I knew there was something wrong with it because when you put your foot on the brake, it's all spongy. And that's why you check if your brakes are broken. And there was also a problem with the exhaust. We knew that. They said they're taking out the middle bit. There's a possibility the back end of it as well, which was kind of badly corroded. It wasn't an MOT failure, the back end of the exhaust, but it was something to keep an eye on. Luckily, they've actually managed to remove that without taking the entire end of it with it, so that's good. So, yeah, they're going to continue. They don't work on a Saturday for some ungodly reason. But, yeah, Monday I should have my car back, so that'll be nice. I don't know, I might do some car vlogs or something like that. Could be interesting. You know, just mount a camera to the dashboard and go on a random adventure and do a random chat like this, and then I won't have to ruin your Let's Play videos. I can speak about the game instead of my personal life and schooling experiences.
Don't let the pressure get to you.
Mind you, I'm sure you all don't mind. I hope you all don't mind. Alright, what timings are we looking for on this video? Oh no. Oh god, no. The recording has broken from my perspective. That's always nice to know. I don't think it's broken quite that bad, so we might be okay. Oh. It's working again. I don't know, you might have seen some corruption. Jesus Christ, 37 minutes. Okay, friends, I'm going to end it here. My name's been TheRealEmile. Until next time,